Here we are spawning in the bottom left. In the blue, he is, of course, representing Exxon, Team Exxon. From Mexico, he is special. Well, I guess it's, well, is he still in Korea? I know he was thinking he might have to go back to Mexico for a little bit for visa issues due to COVID. But anyway, he's certainly more of a Korean Terran than anyone else. And of course, his opponent in the bottom right, in the red, representing Good Game Gaming, he is Patience. And man, I have been waiting all day for this. I did a broadcast this morning. I did into the Alpha X Pro Series number 6 Ignition with really a fantastic group. It was Dream, it was Trap, it was Zest. No, sorry, it wasn't Trap. It was Dream, it was Stats, it was Zest, and it was Rogue. It was a really fantastic group. Of course, Zest aced the group there, which was rather surprising, but he looked really good. He was able to 2-1 Rogue and then 2-0 Dream. And then, well, Rogue was able to 2-0 Dream in the final stage, but I don't really think that's a good indication of Dream's relative strength. I mean, maybe losing to Zest is one thing, but Rogue and Dream play each other in the GSL rather soon. So, if that's the case, I mean, they're not going to want to go and reveal anything too early. So I just wondered why chat wasn't showing. It's because I had the wrong chat bar up. There we go. Alright. Okay, fantastic. I was like, why is no one talking in chat? Generally, we see stuff like that right now. But anyways. Oh no, Gengar. I mean, I choose to believe that Dream was saving strats. I choose to believe that Dream was saving strats because I hold Dream in high regard. I think he's some fantastic TVP. And, well, as we say this, we're seeing some decent amount of worker damage going down here. Special getting 2 workers for his, to add to his coffers. And, of course, Patience was able to knock down 1 probe at the beginning of the game. So if we look at total resources lost, it's 1 SCV, 1 SCV, 1 Reaper for 2 probes. So already, well, I don't really know who this favors too much. I mean, it's 1 SCV that was killed a lot earlier versus 2 probes later. If anyone wants to sponsor Clem versus Solar, well, Sushi is in the chat. And I'm sure he'd be willing to take that under advisement. Of course, it's always hard to get European versus Korean show matches just due to the time zone differential. And this Reaper really shouldn't get anything more done. There we go. Okay, Adept will be able to kill that one off. And now the Hellions going to try to go on in. But again, we have defensive Adepts. Yeah, the ITAC 6, that is every Monday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So we have one more group. No, we have one more group. We have one more group that's going to be next Monday. That's going to be Group C. Hey, Robot Sushi. But yeah, so we have Group C coming up on Tuesday. Then the first group stage of the round of 8. So we're going to do 2 4-man groups in the round of 8. Is going to be Thursday. Then it's going to be Monday, and then the finals day. So it's going to be 2 best-of-5s and a best-of-7. The semis and the finals are going to be the following Monday, if I have my dates correct. So certainly make sure to check out the rest of it. And of course, all of these games, they were on, were they on Trovo? Yeah, they were on Trovo. And of course, they will also be on our YouTube channel. Yeah, TVZ is certainly the best matchup by far. Well, I don't know by far. I think all the matchups are getting pretty unless we talk about PVZ. I don't know. I was talking to someone earlier who plays both Protoss and Zerg, and they were like, yeah, man, when I'm playing Zerg, I hate ZVP the most, and when I'm playing Protoss, I hate PVZ the most. And I think that's probably fair. I mean, the matchup is pretty balanced, but it's not the most interesting to watch. It's not the most dynamic game series. We do have a special. He's going to go for a drop. And this is one of the things. I haven't really talked about this map this much because it is my favorite map of the pool thus far, at least of the new maps. But we do have special. He's going to go in for a drop here. And one of the benefits is while there is a lot of dead airspace, it does have some slow zones, so it's a little bit easier to respawn to things. Make sure you don't die to things like this. But now the Phoenix are going to have to go on back here. Probes are going to get pulled, and actually, you know what? They're going to trade fairly decently. Now, of course, the rest of this drop is not going to get anything really done here because the Phoenix have arrived, and there are just enough Phoenix. Yeah, these Marines are just going to go on down here. And we have Immortals on the way. That's interesting. Now, wait, where are the rest of the Phoenix? Did they die? No, okay, it looks like Patience lost most of his Phoenix on the other side of the map because they were certainly more than that. So now Special, he's going a bit aggressive here. And you know what? I actually don't know if Patience has enough to deal with this. This is, yes, okay, the medevac's going to go down here, but there are 3 Cyclones. And yeah, we do have some probes. Probes can maybe trade well against Cyclones, sure, but there's just not a lot of army here for Patience whatsoever. He lost enough of his Phoenix early on that this is becoming rather problematic for our good game gaming Protoss players. Now especially he's doubling the army supply. And yes, it is only 20 to 10, but you know, when we're at these low supply counts, sometimes the additional 3-5 army supply is even that much more impactful than it previously would be. So now we will have the Viking land as the rest of the Phoenixes have been taken out. Now with the Immortal here, it does look like Patience will be able to hold for the time being, but there's this one SCV ever so slowly doing God's work. It's going to knock the pylon down. Or not. Yeah, pretty much. It's just Stargate opening into Air Toss in pretty much the pro meta too. Now we are starting to see some interesting stuff, and Jo-Un showed a really cool build against DRG yesterday. But anyway, we do have now Patience. He's going to try to move out on the map here, and yes, one Cyclone will get targeted down. But well, now we have lock on, so that means it's going to be, oh no, the Immortal. It's not going to go down. And this game is getting really scrappy here. Special does have his 3rd base done, of course, but this is just a really weird rally back and forth. This was not the type of game that I was expecting when I said, hey, let's do Blackthorn first, because of course the format here is I get to pick the first map because I have unlimited power as the main broadcaster here. But of course, as I say that, if you want to watch this in Spanish, make sure to go check out Anki's stream as well. I believe that's I believe he's streaming on Twitch right now, so that's twitch.tv/Anki Alexander. But anyway, this is not what I expected out of this map. I do love this map because it starts small, it gets big, it kind of plays like an island map, but not really. It just gets you get some really cool stuff. But I did not expect to see this kind of tug of war over the middle of the map with a bare minimum of units. You know, 20 odd army supply each. But that's what we got here in this game, and I am certainly not complaining about it here, as we do have Special now. He says, look, I'm going to take my 3rd base, I'm going to turtle up a little bit. I'm a little bit afraid of what you got, Patience, because while our army supplies are equal, you have more power units. That being said, of course, with the tanks here, it's going to be somewhat difficult for Patience to really break things. Is there a War Prism? It sounded like there was a War Prism, but anyway, now the SCVs are going to have to get pulled. One tank is firing away, of course. The missile turrets are preventing this Phoenix from really getting the good lifts that they're looking for. So the tanks are still firing stronger, but it looks like Patience... Oh, there's the War Prism. Looks like Patience maybe, just maybe, has enough. Is the Immortal going to go down? The Immortal will die. So now it's just low-tech units against low-tech units. 11 SCVs have died. The Phoenix will go on down here, and that is going to make this push a lot less powerful, as now Patience... He's not going to be able to get what he needs here. Another tank will bolster the defense. Special now. He's down 4 workers instead of, I guess, up 6 before that. And the game's still somewhat even. I don't really understand how this game is the way it is, but sometimes it don't be like it be, but it do. So now we do have the Adepts. They're going to drop down into the main base. Of course, it is 3 Adepts to 1-tap an SCV, or 3 Adept shots to kill an SCV. Whichever way you want to talk about. But now the SCVs are going to get pulled onto the natural. We do have a stim here, but no, the Warp Prism. Actually, no, on the speed zones here. The Warp Prism may take too much damage, but no. He will be able to pick things up, get away. 6 more SCVs do die. Now Patience, he's got a 9-worker lead, which is just about where you normally want to be in a PvT. You want to have that minor worker lead. So we're 9 minutes into the game. Both players on 3 bases. Both players at, you know, honestly, both players at somewhere at like a 7-8 minute mark in terms of where they are in their tech, where they are in their armies. And this game is getting rather scrappy indeed, as once again, Patience is going back into Phoenix play. He does have 1 on the map. He's going to get some more. And he's getting charged behind this. So I do like this charge lot style against the way that charge lot Archon Phoenix style that really Zest has been playing a lot of, against the army composition that Special has decided to build, against the style that Special has decided to play. That being said, though, charge is not done for another 14 seconds. And that does maybe give Special an opportunity to at least get his bunker down before things get a little bit too scary. So he will tap some of the hardened shields to make sure that not too much goes down here. Now the Phoenix are going to try to dive on in, but well, they're just going to get tapped down immediately. That being said, though, actually, no, Special's not really targeting this down, relying on the Vikings to be the anti-air, and so that means the bunker will not survive. But now we're starting to see some sentries go on in there. They will get targeted down as well, and Special will be forced back for the time being. But of course, he's being forced back into tank range, and I don't even want to know how many Phoenix have died this game. Well, I do want to know. The answer is 10, and Special, he's going to take the vastly superior trade over the course of the last couple minutes, and that does give him license to find his way out into the natural. Hey, that's going to be an Orthosis pylon. That is a little bit less production here for Patience, and of course with the tanks going on in, Well, that is rather difficult, a difficult position to break. That being said, though, of course, the charge lots will get on top of these tanks, and that does mean that, well, at least one tank will go on down. And the charge lots here, I do like this. They're going to try to work on the rally, maybe, but there's just too much here. Special, able to circle back in time. Is this one Adept is actually getting, like, 6 SCVs. Now, okay, now it's going to be dealt with by the rally. But yes, we do have more Archons on the way here. Special, once again, he's going to try to build the bunkers because, you know, at first you don't succeed. And if at second you don't succeed, maybe if at third. At third you will succeed here. As now the hallucinated Colossus, I gotta imagine that was supposed to be a hallucinated Phoenix because, I mean, they're very close to each other. But anyway, Charge Lot's going to go on in. I mean, these bunkers don't even have to do anything. Their job is just to soak Charge Lot aggro to make the tanks be able to fire stronger for longer here. So now we do have the army firing away, but Patience just does not have enough. GG, Special. So Special's got a little bit something in mind here. I don't know exactly what option he's going to go. It will be 1-1-1 before a command center, so he will be going aggressive. Now, whether this is Burrowed Widowmine drops is a possibility. Always a possibility there. Whether this is going to be some sort of weird Hellion Hellbat thing that I've seen Kier do once or twice, don't really know. What I do know, though, is Patience is going to proxy as well. And this is, from the location here, from the timing, this is looking more likely than not that it will be a proxy Stargate. So what we're looking at now is whether Special, whether his proxy will be able to hold a candle to the proxy that Patience has done, whether he will be able to do equal damage, right? Because I think it is pretty... Okay, this is just going to be one base Hellion drops, as this is kind of a starport SCV here. Anyway, the Reaper's going to go on into the main base. Say, hey, well, where's your pylon? As there's only one. But okay, there we go. Proxy starport off of one base. This is just going to be... Okay, this is just going to be one base Hellion drops. I kind of expected to see something. Well, I guess it could be, you could run Widowmines across the map, but realistically at this point, yeah, there we go. So Hellions are on the way. One base Hellion drop, so that does mean it's going to be a little bit faster. Most likely will be 4 Hellions, not 3. And well, we're going to have to see exactly how this one does work on out here. It does mean it's going to be a little bit faster, although it is into Stargate play. Here's the thing. Patience's Stargate is over here. It's on the left-hand side of the map. That does mean that even if he does get Phoenixes out of this, they will not be in nearly as good of a position to intercept the Hellions that are going to make their way across the map. So we do have 2 Hellions are done, 2 more are on the way. Medivac is going to be on the way here. So this is going to be a very quick Hellion drop. So what do we have here, even for Patience? His warp gate won't even be done by the time he's trying to defend this. And this is actually kind of crazy. I don't think I've seen this variant of the build before. So it certainly does have the potential to kill a lot. That being said, we will have an Oracle flying on into the main base. The first one's already done, and how much anti-air do we have? Oh, we actually don't. We have literally 0 anti-air here for Special on the map, so the SCVs are just going to have to get pulled. And now Special is going to have to go on in there and try to find whether some equalizing damage, because this is not going to work out well. Now, that being said, Patience does have to control his Oracles appropriately, as it does run out of energy. But now the Hellions are going to drive on in here, and we're going to see round 2 in a second. We will see some Cloaked Widowmines are going to come on in, but for the moment, we will see 5 probes go on down. And now Special, come on, just boost into the natural. That's the play. Don't run away. Just boost on into the natural. Anyway, this Oracle continuing to get damage done as well. So at the end of the day, this kind of feels equal. I think so. Okay, there we go. The Hellions are going to go on in. Special drops 1 on the low ground just because. But now, of course, 3 Hellions, they 1-tap probes. That doesn't even matter here. And we're going to start to see the barbecue really get started. Now, of course, the Adepts have found their way on into things. But, well, the Adepts are only so fast. As now this Oracle's going to try to defend things as well. And we do now finally have Phoenix on the map. So that does mean Special for the time being. This pressure, he's going to have to go drop the Hellions somewhere. Just drop the Hellions in the main base. That's what you got to do. Oh, he's going to drop them up front, but it's a full wall Special. I don't really know what you want to do with that one. Maybe he wants to keep him up so he can have Hellbats later on. Hellbats, of course, are not all that common in this matchup, but I've seen it work with Cure. So, anyways, yeah, this Medivac will eventually get taken out here. So now the Hellions, they're going to try to find their way on, but again, full wall. And actually, it's a 4-gate, so if Patience is able to weather the oncoming storm here, he's going to have a rather powerful attack coming on in later on. So now we're going to have the Widowmines get dropped on in here. Patience, are you going to split in time? It looks like it's going to be somewhat decent. Actually, wow, what the hell, man? What a great split there from Patience. Really pulled the minimum amount of stuff and still took 1 probe worth of damage. That was actually really impressive. Words cannot really explain how impressive that was. That was really cool. But now we're going to see some Hellion drops. There's Widowmine Hellion coming on in, and Hellions are going to... Okay, that's just going to sit in the corner here. And what does Special have behind this? More and more Widow Mines on the ways. Now, finally, we do have this starport. It's going to find its way back, but I mean, that does mean the Phoenix can fire away at it for a while. I don't think they're going to have enough damage to set it burning. Hey, Lion's Teeth, I really appreciate you coming on in here and giving me all the matchup stats. It's something I always think I should do, and then I kind of forget about it until I'm actually streaming. So thank you so much for that. That's pretty cool. And certainly does mean that Sushi, when he was finding people for this show match, did a very good job of finding a couple evenly matched players. And now these Hellion drops are just being so effective, so annoying here. But now, okay, now the Stalker's going to knock this down. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Finally, it's dead. Finally, Patience. He's had enough of this. He says, okay, finally here at this point, all your aggression is done. I don't really have to worry about it anymore. And we have to figure out exactly where we stand. So it is, of course, Phoenix Oracle is the army composition. This Widow Mine shot is going to be, oh, it's not going to get a Phoenix. Really not. Patience's splits against these Widow Mines have been really, really good tonight. But anyway, or I guess afternoon or morning for Patience and Special. Hello into the best. These Widow Mines are just all over the place, and they're just really doing a good job. But Patience here, after everything is said and done, after he has lost 11 probes, which honestly, considering all the Special is committed to this, not all that much, especially considering Special did go tech first, he now has a massive army supply lead. It is full-on doubling the army supply. He's got 20 army supply to the 40 of his opponent. And yeah, Widow Mines are going to be annoying. Yeah, this bunker is going to be annoying, but Patience very much has the ability to really find his way on in here. We're going to see the Adepts, okay, not Shade on in just yet. We will have to see a reveal here with the Oracles to knock down this Widow Mine. There we go. So Phoenix is now just going to lift the Oracle, or the Widow Mine up. That means the Widow Mine won't go on. Actually, there's a second one hidden somewhere, I guess. Huh, I didn't see that. Oh, there it is. That's the Widow Mine. Okay. So now the Adepts are going to shade on in, though. They say, hey, you don't, there's nothing really defending your mineral line, so now time for us to go on in here. As we have, well, it's only a couple Stalkers, not doing a whole lot. But of course, Patience on the other side of the map, he is building his third base. He is getting on up into the tech. He will have Blink eventually. He will have a Robo eventually, probably. He's not really starting it yet, but more and more gateways on the way. So it looks like actually he's just going to go for a charge left style once again. Yeah. I love this from Patience. He's not even doing a lot of damage. He's not really trying to kill the bunker. He's not doing anything like that. But what he is doing is he is preventing the reactor to get started on that starport. So that does mean no reactor medevacs. It does mean no reactor Vikings, which of course, the corollary there, it means Patience can be active on the map longer. Yeah, I just tend to use a Ligulac, Lion's Teeth. I think that one's fairly useful because you can use kind of the inference tools and head-to-head, and it will also give us all-time head-to-head. So it's very nice. I just kind of always forget until someone brings it up, and I'm like, ah, that'd be some really useful information to know. Anyway. Patience now, he's got his fourth base on the way. Special not really even able to take a third base. Well, he's going to take it now, I guess, so. Egg on my face. But this is interesting. So Special realizing that he's not in the best position, to be totally honest. I mean, yes, the supply differential has balanced out just a little bit, but Patience, he's up 9 workers. He is up tech at just a little bit. That being said, though, what I want to talk about here. Special, he has opted to skip the second eBay. He says, look, if I buy that armor upgrade, if I get a 1-1, if I get into 2-2, I'm not probably going to be able to afford it. And your army, to be totally honest, if it's making contact with me, it's probably not a good situation. Anyways, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to get the cheaper upgrade. I'm going to get +2 attack. And I am going to just hope I can burst your army down before you're really going to be able to get anything done here. But now we will have the Army of Patience. It's going to find Special on the map. A nice lifts there from the Phoenix will knock down a decent amount of this army from Special. Special now, he is slowly starting to get on into the actual level of economy, the actual level of tech that he is looking for. Of course, he's down a base, and well, really, he's only down a base. I'm surprised Patience is only on 66 workers, but I guess he's kind of playing the Zest style, where you get a lot of bases and you get a lot of charge lots, but you don't really go that high on the worker count because you want to make sure you have the supply cap available. But honestly, I'm a big fan of the style where you go and you get on up to 80 odd workers as the Protoss player, and then as the Terran inevitably harasses, you just start letting it go down, and you just never rebuild probes until you are on, I don't know, 66, 72, something like that. Much like how a Zerg player will play, except, of course, they can turn their workers into buildings. Anyway, now we do have the army as that stays strapped. Not going to be all that great, but it is an early warning system. It will tell Patience that Special is now moving out on the map here. As that force field, not all that useful. But anyways, combat shields not. It's 11 minutes into this game, and combat shields are not quite done here. Now this stasis trap. Oh, it's gonna get 2 Marines. Okay, no big deal. And these force fields. Okay, that will trap a ghost, and I guess that's what what Patience was trying to do earlier. But if we look at things, well, as we look at how this game is going, Special, he's been able to rebuild a fairly decent income, fairly decent army supply. But those force fields are going to be really nice, as the tickle beams of the sentries will be able to knock down another ghost or two. I'm surprised we don't see Special trying to save that, but I guess, of course, with the Blink Stalker, that becomes a little bit more problematic. Disruptor shots are going to go on in. Special, he's going to target both of them down, though. And now, well, it looks like he maybe has enough to break this army, as we don't have any other splash damage on the army here for Patience for the time being. He's even going to get the stasis trap. And Patience, well, actually, it looks like Patience, maybe with the warp ends, will be able to fight this back. And yeah, he will be able to do so. But those Widow Mines are going to be tremendously valuable indeed. Another one's going to go on off here. So Patience, now he's suddenly down 30 army supply. The Widow Mines, the absolute MVP of this engagement. As Special, he does have the 1 upgrade lead here, and the Widow Mines did so much work. It looks like there's no observers on the map. Well, there are. They're just not part of the army. Now they're coming on back, but it feels like maybe it's just a little bit too little too late here. As Patience, he was looking so good through the early game. He did such a good job of holding off Special, but it feels like Special maybe just has a little bit too much here as this Disruptor. Looks like it will be able to clean out the army of Special that is here right now, but we got to pay attention to the rally of Special. He's now up 20 army supply from even being down significantly in army supply in this game. But we have to pay attention, of course, to A, the upgrade. Special does not have any armor upgrades, and B, the fact that Special does not have a 4th base on the way. Yeah, Spatial is absolutely owning all the space on this map. I don't know, I'm just really excited about all the different news coming out of the Perseverance server. You know, I talked about this on my stream last night, but the Ingenuity, the Mars copter that recently did its first controlled hover, which, by the way, controlled flight in super low density atmospheric environments, really hard to do. Also, the in situ oxygen generation that was successfully tested yesterday. Anyways, this is not a STEM stream. This is not a robot nerd stream, as much as I wish it was. This is a StarCraft stream, and now we have Patience looking to get aggressive here, and at the very least delay or deny this fourth base. Excuse me, I cannot talk tonight. From Special. And now Special is going to look for a flank here. 1 Disruptor will go on down, and Special should just pick all this up. Oh no, he's just going to hit some really good splits. My God, Special, calm down. So he's going to be able to take a massively advantageous trade here. That does mean these Disruptors will get targeted on down. 1 goes down, 2 goes down. As soon as the concussive shells land, it's a bit of a problem. But of course, on the other side of the map, we do have some pretty big run-bys on in here. Zealots on every base, and Special, well, it's kind of putting him into an all-in situation. He's losing all of his SCVs. And yes, he does have +2, but his opponent, well, he's on 2-1, so he does have that upgrade lead. Soon it will be 3-2. And Special, though, it does look like he barely has enough to maybe break this 4th base, but certainly probes are getting pulled here. So this game is turning into a real bit of a slobber knocker, as now the Widowmine shots, they will not be dragged onto the army. But Special, he's still not going to lose, or excuse me, but Patience still not going to lose too much here, as it's going to be a recall on, it looks like, a lot of these charge lots as well. Patience, oh no, it's going to be recall on the Observer. And I do like that. That just makes sure these Widow Mines that have been doing so much here for Special in this game, well, they will be dealt with. As now these Zealots will find this. Was this the main base that floated on over? No, wait, never mind. This is just the 3rd base. The 3rd base that has, like, no workers on it now. So now Special, he's on 22 workers. Once again, the 4th base will get canceled. And I think this is going to turn into the story of this game. Now, nice blink micro here from these Stalkers. And considering the fact that Patience has a fairly significant upgrade lead, yeah, he's going to be able to take this fight anyways. GG, Patience, equalizing things. We will have a more standard game here from Special and Patience. No proxies yet. No crazy 1-base builds. No types of shenanigans, which is kind of funny because Beckett, of course, has the smallest rush distance, the shortest rush distance in the pool. It's actually 28 seconds where Submarine was 30, so it's 2 seconds shorter than Submarine, which is really scary. And on top of that, if you're trying to expand, you're always really going to be expanding towards your opponent. If you try to expand in the triangular base, that means you're really vulnerable to the linear base, and vice versa. And of course, this base and its sister base on the other side, both of these bases are realistically never going to get taken because, I mean, look how close this base is to the notional 5th base of the opponent, right? So that makes it, you know, what is this? 1, 2, like 3 screens away. 2 screens away. There's only 1 in the middle. And even if I'm the red player and I'm trying to take this base, well, I am really close to this base too. So it gets a little bit problematic. It does make these games a little bit shorter, a little bit more explosive. And I do think it is something somewhat Terran favored, and that is, of course, why we do see Patience going for the parting build here in this game number 3. He says, look, I don't want to take this game late. That kind of seems gross. So what he's going to do, he's going to add 1 gate across the map, 1 gate at home, warp in a 3-gate stalker, and try to pressure Special for all he's worth. Now, Special here, he's going for a Widow Mine drop, and those Widow Mines may end up being useful in the defense, because, of course, well, there is no detection here, so that means if you want to not lose something, unless you're really good with your Adept Shade Micro, if you wanna make sure you push on in there, you just gotta sacrifice a unit to the Widow Mine every time it does happen. Now we do have our gates done here, and Special, he does have his bunker on the way. Is Patience? No, he's not. I was gonna say, is he gonna sell out on that to try to cancel the bunker? But no, he will not decide to do that here. Now we have, oh, it's gonna be Adepts. I've actually seen the rise in, like, Glaive Adept all-ins against Terran recently. I don't know whether that's what we're gonna see here, but that's a pretty cool version of this build. Normally it's Stalkers. Okay, so now the Adepts will shade on in here and do what they can to try to maybe get some damage done. So they will find a bunch of Marines here, and these are unstimmed Marines, by the way. These Adepts can take this fight. Now, maybe they're not going to trade perfectly, but most of these Marines will go on down as, okay, that one Adept needs to be marked back, but that will not happen. So more and more Marines are being produced, of course. And, oh, Special. He almost let him in. He's just tantalizing Patience here. So now, with a Cyclone out, these Adepts really shouldn't get a whole lot done. They will be able to mostly shade on out. Okay. That's where we are. And it is a 2-base Adept Glaive all-in. It is a 2-base Adept Glaive all-in. I didn't really think I was going to be right when I saw that happen, because it is so vulnerable to so many things. But you know what? When it's cloaked Banshee, and it's going to be 7 gates, by the way. So when it's cloaked Banshee, I mean, yeah, is the Banshee going to be able to do a decent amount of work on the other side of the map? Sure, absolutely. Will it eventually be able to pare down the Adept count? Yeah, 100%. But really the question is not whether it will eventually. The question is how much damage will get done by these Adepts before the Banshee makes its value known. Because of course, it's a similar situation where you go kind of roaches against the battlecruiser build. You do a Roach Ravager rush against battlecruisers, and you might say, well, yeah, aren't the battlecruisers really good against Roach Ravager? Sure, they are. But I mean, they kind of pop out. The first one pops out like 10 seconds after the Roach Ravager rush hits, and well, by the time you have any substantive hold, your entire economy's dead. So we're gonna have to see how much damage Special is gonna be able to do here, as he will not be able to get anything done to the main base because, well, there's a shield battery. Same is going to be true of the natural, and now the Adepts are gonna come on in here. The tank's gonna go down immediately. There was a Widow Mine. I don't really know what happened with that, but now, of course, we will see the Adepts. They're just gonna start to work down as much, really as much economy as possible here. But with the Adept at home, honestly, this is not working out all that well for our blue Protoss player here. And as, of course, Cloak is done, that means that the shield battery is out of energy. So the Adepts with the Banshee is going to have to target that down. And we do have an Observer on the way. So actually, this is not going to get a ton of work done. Not really, yeah. The Observer's out. So this Banshee is going to go down, in fact. And I guess we're somewhat even. I mean, Special's up on... Well, actually, no, we're not. Never mind. Special's up 4 workers. He's even on Army Supply, 4 workers, yeah. This is actually really terrible here for Patience. I was going to say, well, you know, maybe Patience got enough, but no. That is not the world in which we live in. Not whatsoever. So we're just going to have to see whether Patience can maybe make some variant of this work. He does have Blink on the way, and that will allow him to maybe be a little bit more active on the map, maybe get some more damage done. But unfortunately, I think Patience did take a Widow Mine shot. I believe that did happen. I want to say this Widow Mine... No, okay, never mind. This Widow Mine was on the ramp. Patience... Oh, okay. He had enough Adepts to just one-tap them. That's pretty cool. Anyway, Patience... He just took a little bit too much damage. He was not able to target down the repairing SCVs, and instead targeted down the bunker, and the bunker didn't die because, I mean, there are Adepts trying to kill a bunker. So that was a bit of a problem there for Patience, as he tried to get some damage done, and what that meant, he was just not able to get enough. So, we do have 2 Banshees here, and they will continue to poke away here at the economy of Patience, because, again, Patience, he doesn't have Blink. He doesn't have anything that's really good at dealing with these. I mean, yes, he has Stalkers, but Stalkers are only so powerful. So what is Patience doing here? He's not taking a 3rd base. He realizes that that would be a foolhardy endeavor. Instead, he's got a Warp Prism across the map. As we have 7 more Adepts, they're going to warp on in here, and this is a lot of Blink Stalkers. So 12 Stalkers, 16 Adepts are going to be the name of the game. And Patience says, okay, look, I'm up 20 army supply. Oh, wait, is he just going to... Yeah, he's just going to leverage or ferry all of these into the main base. Stalkers are going to blink forward, of course, here to buy room, to buy time. And now we do have a lock on here on top of the Cyclone. Cyclone, though, will get targeted down. The Raven's going to go down as well, and now Adepts are going to get ferried on into the main base. This third base, at the very least, is going to get taken down here. And now, well, Patience, he will force the SCV pull here. Actually, yeah, Special, he's just going to cancel the SCVs anyways. And it's, you know what, it's actually looking rather good here for the blue Protoss player, despite everything, despite how much damage he did not do earlier on. But of course, the tanks here are a bit of a problem, and the SCVs, the Adepts, they're cloaked on up. 19 SCVs have died, and we're gonna have to see maybe another warp in. Yeah, okay, the Warp Prism will be able to force its way back, will be able to survive, and these tanks are the only saving grace here for Special, but they are a saving grace indeed. That being said, though, there are no factories left on the map. No factories left on the map, and that does give Patience free reign. And we're going to see a whole hell of a lot more Adepts Zealots actually get warped on in, because look at this. The Banshees moved on to the other side of the map. That does mean, of course, that there's less defense here, but they got 14 probes. Patience does not nearly have the economy that he would wish to have here. Stalkers are going to blink on forward, trying to get on top of these tanks. One tank will go on down. Second tank, though, it's going to get enough damage done that I think maybe, just maybe, no, with the warp in, with the additional Adepts here, it looks like Patience maybe has enough. It's hard to tell with seeing what's everything on top of everything, but with the personal healing there of all of the medevacs, excuse me, and there not being enough money here for Patience to really get a substantive warp in. It looks like Patience maybe just barely doesn't have enough. Okay, the army's going to stem on forward here. The Warp Prism is going to be able to get alive. Special, he's just targeting down the units. Now the Warp Prism does go on down here, but with personal healing for each and every unit. Special, he's going to have enough. GG, he's going to take the 2-1 lead. Here we are spawning in the upper left in the blue, representing Good Game Gaming. Give it up for Patience. And his opponent on the bottom right-hand side of the map in the red, actually, we're going to do this. Spawning here up in the middle of the map here with a proxy barracks representing Team Exxon in the red. He is Special. So we got one proxy barracks, one barracks at home, and is this double gas? Only single gas. So this is going to be a concussive shell marauder build that TY has been playing with a decent amount, and it does make sense, of course, because Special and TY are good friends, and it does make sense that they would copy some builds off of each other. So we will see concussive shell, and it will be Marines. It's probably actually reactor out of this barracks. So it's going to be Marine Marauder, concussive shell, and the goal there, of course, is just get a lot of damage done. So Patience will scout this, they say, and will say, hey, you know what? Okay, you don't have a natural now, but also, I mean, this barracks is a barracks. That being said, though, of course, here's the issue. All right, this barracks is not done at the normal time. Actually, no, never mind. This barracks was started first, so it's going to be totally fine. And it will be a Reaper first. Interesting. I kind of expected to see a tech lab just at the very start, but, you know, maybe get that scouting, get the Reaper done. And it does mean that this Reaper will find its way on into the main base really early, and that's going to be rather useful. This is, oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be here from Special. I mean, yeah, it's going to be Marines out of this. Huh. Very cool. As it looks like Special chat is simultaneously cheering him on and telling him to get even cheesier as this tournament does go on, as this show match does go on here. So gotta love that. Anyway, this we do have the proxy factory. Is this gonna be like I don't think I've ever seen this build, but it will be a tech lab, so this could be cyclones or tanks. So I guess we're gonna see like tank liberator proxied, maybe. Huh. I'm just kind of flummoxed. I have not seen this build from, I don't think anyone. Okay, maybe I've seen like, you know, I've got a Master's Terran friend who refuses to build his structures on his side of the map. So this is the kind of thing that he would do. But I mean, again, this is Special. Special is not a mid-Masters player. Special is a, you know, round of 4 World Championship level player. So I'm really excited to see what this build is going to turn out to be. And there we go. It will be tanks, and we most likely will see liberators out of this then, as you have really nice overlapping siege zones. So the barracks will be forced back home. But in all honesty, that's not the story here. I mean, even if the barracks goes down, who really cares? The story of... Oh, it's going to be medevacs. Okay, so what is this? Tank sieges here on the low ground and Marines drop on the high ground? Maybe. And there we go. Okay, the barracks will get completed on anyways. And okay, there we go. This will go on down. But now we do have 3 Stalkers. They're going to find their way across the map. And they're going to try to find the rally here of Special. Because, of course, you find the rally, that means you just get far less Marines are going to go on in. And this is actually going to be a big problem. Because, I mean, it's only 2 Marines that are going to be built at a time. And actually, it's only going to be 1. Because this reactor is going to get targeted down. And after the reactor goes down, supply depots are going to go down. Special is going to be supply blocked to all hell. And I guess the hope here at this point is that Special will be able to get damage done with this push. So it looks like the SCVs are getting pulled here on the other side of the map, as Special may be relying on the fact that Patience is not really going to be able to micro as much as he would normally would be because he's dealing with a tank push on at the front. So the Stalkers will be forced back here for the moment, and the supply depots will be allowed to stay up, and we do have Liberators on the way. We have more tanks on the way. So this is where the screws start to get put towards Patience just a little bit. Right, when you get that Liberator tank siege zone, that overlapping siege zone, that's when things get rather scary. Because, of course, the Stalkers, they can deal with the Liberators kind of, well, just well enough here. Actually, oh, the Immortal's going to go on down before the army really is able to get on top of these tanks. But that is just enough here. The Marines are now going to go on down. But the Liberator's sieging on up, and that's going to be it, though. GG Patience, he's got the break. I think a lot of damage was done on the other side. Patience, he takes game 4. Spawning in the bottom left. In the blue, he is, of course, representing Good Game Gaming, making a fantastic hold in game number 2. He is Patience. And his opponent in the upper right, in the red. We get to introduce him in his mineral line this time because he's not out on the map. For Team Exxon, he is Special. Well, as I say that, it's another 2 barracks build. I don't know whether Special is kind of memeing on us here, or whether he is, you know, taking build order suggestions from his chat, or whether he just believes that Patience is relatively weak to these early aggressive plays. I don't really know, but Special is certainly opening up the Book of Filth here today. And you know what? I'm enjoying it. I love seeing new builds. I love seeing builds I've never seen before. And just trying to sit there and figure out exactly what's happening along with the rest of chat. Because, you know, it's one of those things, right, where maybe these builds are more common at lower levels, but pretty much all the StarCraft content I cast is, you know, GSL caliber players, and you don't see builds like this all that often in the GSL. You might see one in a best of 5 or something as you see a really tailored build, but you don't see a lot of these shenanigans. Special. This is double barracks, double Reaper. What the? Okay. Okay, Special. This is pretty cool. I'm a big fan of this. I don't know how well it's gonna work, but I'm still a big fan. So yeah, we just have a bunch of Reapers moving their way across the map. How many do we have right now? We have 3 Reapers, and that's going to be the extent of things. And actually, Special really did not get a lot done with that. You got yeah, actually nothing. I thought he got 1 probe, but anyway, getting just about nothing here, and that is a bit of a problem. I mean, if you do commit to this, you do commit to a build like this, you do want to get something done at the very least. You want to maybe knock down a probe, kill an adept. Find some sort of value with your 3 Reapers that you have decided to build for yourself. But now, of course, with the shield battery here in the natural and the 2 Stalkers in the main base, these Reapers are not going to be all that successful. Now, actually, we don't have a shield battery in the main base just yet, so Special, of course, it is 6 Reaper shots or 2 volleys of these triple Reapers to get some damage done. So now we're going to start to see actually the probe damage get started in earnest. 4 workers will go on down. 4 workers for 3 Reapers. It's okay. Not that great, of course. Patience, for his part, he's going for the party build once again. So, what is this? Are these players trying to just speedrun this series? You know, take us, make it so the series is done before 2? I guess that's what's happening here, is we're just in the throes of unfettered aggression. And, you know, this is something that can kind of happen in Best of X series, where both players, they start kind of playing cheesy, and therefore, they will get, the bunker's not going to go down. Okay, now the bunker's going to complete. It was a really cool move there from Patience, but just not quite fast enough. Wait, is this only 2 gate? Okay, there's 3 gate. Anyway, this is something that can happen in Best of X series, where both players just kind of keep getting aggressive. And they keep getting aggressive, and they just keep upping the stakes of their aggression, and then you just kind of get into this downward spiral into madness, where neither player really feels confident trying to take it to a macro game, because they've cheesed a lot and their opponent has cheesed a lot. So if you try to take it like just a macro game against a bunch of cheese, it doesn't feel all that great, right? Unless you play defensively. So it kind of just gets into this weird cacophony of chaos, just this downward descent into madness. I mean, SOS is known for these kind of shenanigans, as now the Stalkers are going to go on forward here, and a couple SCVs are going to start to go on down. But with the Cyclone, maybe it's going to be enough to make the hold, but no, the Stalkers are, of course, infinitely microable. Well, maybe not infinitely, but extremely microable. They will be able to stay alive for the moment, as we do have a Twilight Council on the way. And now, here's the time where we do start to see this start to break Terrans a little bit more. Right, because now Adepts are going to shade on in behind the mineral line. Oh, no, they're... Never mind. Okay, never mind. I liked the idea of maybe shading on top of the SCVs there to make sure that the bunker will go down, but no. The Adepts, for the moment, they're just going to sit outside of things and try to get as much damage done as possible. The bunker, though, is starting to take some damage. Fine, and look at this. Patience, I thought he was going to go for Blink beyond this. He will not. It is a Robo on the way, of course, third base on the way, of course, but it's going to be charged. This is Patience looking to, well, try to do some damage here to Special. More importantly, try to do some damage, or try to not take any damage, because Special, at this point, does not have a third barracks, or does not have a third command center, sorry. He does have 3 reacts, plus 1 stim combat shield, is going to be the timing of the day here, as we have a recall coming on in it, as the Raven is going to start to exact its sweet, sweet vengeance on the probe line of Patience. But it's only going to be 2 workers here, so at the end of the day, it's just about equal. 5 workers to 6. Patience, though, does have a worker deficit compared to his Terran opponent at this point, and that is a scary thing indeed, because, of course, the Terran, he has mules. If you look at the relative income graphs here, Special's been somewhat ahead over the last 5 minutes, as, again, Patience not really on the worker count that he would like, as he is, of course, producing probes, but he really has been spending his chronos on things like charge, on things like warp gates, to make sure that they are able to, you know, build more things faster. And as that is the case, again, probes falling a little bit by the wayside, especially as Patience continues to take damage. And even then, he's cutting probes right now, as 4 additional gateways are on the way, so it's going to be 7 gate charge. And yes, there's a third base kind of done, and Patience is going to be mining from it to some extent, but this is kind of an all-in here from Patience. Patience is, in fact, exhibiting patience. I had a little bit of fun with my my tweet today, or my tweet this afternoon, as I did Into the Alpha X Ignition this morning, but about how this is, you know, interesting, fantastic circumstances. I've been waiting all day. You know, it's Special versus Patience. Anyway, I gotta find ways to amuse myself, because certainly I amuse no one else. As now the rest of the gateways are just about done here. It will be 8 gate behind this, and yes, Patience, I mean, he really has been cutting probes. We do have more probes on the way, of course, but 3 more probes will go on down. And now Patience, he's just got a big army. It looks like, okay, so he's gonna drop on into the main base with charge lot, with Adepts. There's a missile turret here, so that's a missile turret here, so that's not gonna be all that effective. And now these force fields will be able to keep the army of Special alive. We don't have Blink, though. It's just charge. And that's a lot of Stalkers, not a lot of Zealots. So I'm not all that confident, really, in Patience's ability to hold. Now, of course, he will warp in a ton of charge lots down into the main base. That is going to be rather nice here. That being said, that the Warp Prism will go on down, and the Widowmine will hit full on center mass. So at this point, Special, he's losing a lot of workers, but I think he has the counterpunch. I don't think that that Patience is going to be able to hold this third base. Probes are going to be pulled to try to deal with that, but I mean, they're probes against Stim Bio. What are you going to really do with that here? Tank free firing from behind, and yes, there's a shield battery overcharge, but what is it really healing? The answer is nothing. It's actually just not in range of anything here. And actually, it's just depowered anyway. So Special will be able to stim on top of here, on top of all of these stocks, and that's just going to be it. GG. It's going to be 3-2. Spawning in the upper right, in the blue, he is, of course, representing Good Game Gaming. Down 1 map in this series, but the way this series has been going, it's probably going to be Patience's map here. Spawning in the upper right, in the blue, he is Patience. And his opponent in the bottom right, bottom left, in the red, he is representing Team X on up 1 map in the series thus far, playing all manner of shenanigan-filled builds. Give it up for Special. Yeah, actually, I was just talking about that with a couple people. I was hanging out with a couple of my friends on the amateur StarCraft clan I hang out with. And I just found about that. I read that news like an hour ago, or a couple hours ago. Freaking 80 pounds of tannerite blew up the, in a bang that was heard multiple towns over. How... I mean, I want to see... I just read the headline. I didn't actually see any news article about it, but I want to see the kind of crater that leaves. That is kind of ridiculous. But, so we do have a Macarax here from Special. This is not going to be the most aggressive build that he's played today, not by a long shot. In fact, it's not really an aggressive build at all. It's just Special doing special things. And trying to convince patients at this point that, yes, I am doing something crazy. I am proxying across the map. You need to be very afraid. Because, well, he has put that thought into patients' mind. And what we were talking about last game, where sometimes it's hard to deviate from a cheese-filled or an aggression-filled series once it really starts getting on into its own momentum, because, well, you just kind of assume your opponent's going to keep doing that, and then it kind of gets really mind-gaming and hard to figure out. Well, Special's playing on into that. He's building his barracks, not in his main base. Instead, he's actually going to functionally proxy this Reaper, realistically. Oh, he's going to get a second one, too. That's pretty nice. But it does mean that this Reaper's going to get slightly faster on into the main base, but, of course, also, well... it hides the barracks for the time being, but patience, it looks like he has no patience for the shenanigans here from Specials. One probe, I think one probe went down. Yeah, one probe will go down for one Reaper. Not really the best trades there for Special. But this probe, I think, is going to drop a pylon. Oh, never mind, it's not. Okay, never mind. Never mind, patience. He will have patience for the shenanigans of Special in this game. It's not Special. He's got his natural on the way. It's just a little bit slower. It was, of course... a factory into command center, not a barracks into command center, and part of that is selling the idea that Special is doing some shenaniganry here in this game. But also, I mean, Special is, it's just not quite as insane as what he's done in the previous games. Anyway, patience for his part, he says, look, okay, you're gonna do something crazy here, that's fine, I don't really care, let's put a Twilight down, let's get some Blink, I'm just gonna get my most defensive option possible. If you do something, that's fine, whatever, I'm gonna be able to hold it. And I do like that option, right? So there is a old adage in StarCraft and figuring out how to play this game, where you look at your opponent, you say, wow, he's doing something really weird. As honestly, Special's not doing anything too weird, it's just going to be a Banshee opener. When your opponent does something weird, you can either sit there and try to figure out what he's doing, or you can just go kill him. Hi, the Bar TV. I believe the command is !caster, is what is set on up. I'm not going to alt tab because unfortunately StarCraft drops down to like 20 FPS when I do that. That's a StarCraft thing, by the way. I'm really disappointed. I mean, I have a 3090. Yeah, it's just something that StarCraft does, and I've tried to fix it. I've actually found blue posts on the forums that say, yeah, we changed something and we can't... Bring it up, maybe, if you want to see it get changed here. But now the Reapers and the Hellions, they're going to kind of dive on in here. It's 4 Hellions, 2 Reapers, and this is a lot of potential probe damage here. Especially going to dive on in. Shield Battery Overcharge is going to get popped on in the natural, but the main base is where the damage is going to really happen here. Of course, 3 Hellions do 1-tap probes, so this is a lot of potential damage, especially with the additional little damage of a couple Hellions. So 6 workers go on down. Is it going to be more? Is Patience only going to take 7 workers from that? Yeah, small indie company. No complaining. But anyway, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, so it does make it hard for me to, you know, trigger commands or do anything like that. Kind of makes me sad. Sometimes I can get away with it if I get, like, bring stuff up on my phone. But that's hard to do if I'm, you know, observing a game of StarCraft. So now we do have this Cloaked Banshee. We'll find its way on up into the main base here. And that is something that Patience is not going to have quite what he needs to deal with yet. There is, of course, an Observer on the way, but again, it was just made as the Cloaked Banshee does arrive. So we're going to see 5 more workers go on down. And Patience, he is down workers compared to Special. But he does have aggressive options here, as there is 1 gate on the map. So this is this 3 gate, 4 gate? 3 gate. Blink Stalker here. So we're going to see Stalkers get warped on in. The majority of the damage here from Special has been ameliorated at this point. I appreciate that. It looks like Sushi on the Nightbot there for our YouTube channel has the sub link. So of course, when you click that link, you will be automatically subscribed, which is worth doing, by the way. It has a lot of great content on there. We put stuff up like every day, maybe multiple even times a day. I cast some stuff. I cast Clem versus Rainer, best of 5 from ESL Open Cup. Europe number 65, and it's still not even up there because we're just so backlogged with all the amazing content that people like myself and Kozan and Rushy and Steadfast and Firebird, who's a really awesome new caster, by the way, producing. But anyway, hold that thought, especially, or excuse me, Patience. He's going to blink on in here. One tick will go on down, but that is a bunker. That is a decent amount of bio. That's a little bit scary to blink on into. But now Patience, he's going to continue getting some damage done here. Once again, though, he's going to blink on top of things. The tank's going to go down, and now the Stalkers will find a position where the bunker's not really firing against all of them here. And look at them cloaked on away, or wedged up into a corner, I should say here. And now they're going to find the production, and that's where things get a little bit scary. Are they going to blink out, or are the Stalkers going to blink on in? That's the question. Okay, they're going to slowly blink on out here, and they're starting to do tons of damage. But, of course, the Banshees on the other side of the map are equalizing this damage. So as good as this is looking here for Patience, as much damage as he is starting to do, and he is doing a lot, by the way, well, so too is Patience taking that damage as well. So at the end of the day, we have that 10 worker lead. Once again, it's not this bunker's going to go on down. It's going to go on down. There we go. That's going to be a bit unfortunate there for Specialist. He has no tanks. He has no bunker. He does have some Widow Mines, of course, but Widow Mines, they don't really do tons of damage to Stalkers. Well, they do tons of damage to Stalkers, but A, there's a Observer out. B, you can always just blink out a Widow Mine shot. So not nearly as scary as a tank. Tanks, of course, they don't have projectile speed. They just kind of pop, things go boom. But yeah, Special absolutely in a fantastic position in this game. Although Patience has been... Did he have something in the... I guess STVs were just pulled. No, I guess he had... Did he have something in the main base that I missed? Anyway, worker count has equalized at this point. But Special, he has Stim. He has Combat Shields. He has plus... Well, he will have +1 rather soon. He will have Concussive Shells rather soon. So his army, when it moves across the map, is not going to be an army that Patience can really fight. Thank you, the Bar TV. I appreciate it. Now, I mean, how do you know I'm handsome? My face is not on this screen. Wait until I get out of the game before you tell me how handsome or not handsome I am. Well, I mean, that being said, I just got my new Alpha X jersey, so I look damn good in that one, because of course I got signed to Alpha X, that's why I'm on here now. But yeah, Patience absolutely going the Gateway Heavy style here. We have Double Forge on the way, so he does have his third base up. As he now finally has a worker lead, but look at this, Special saying, I got no time for your tricks. I have no patience for you. SCV pull is going to be the name of the game here. Is there one Widow Mine in that medevac? Oh, it's a single Marauder in the medevac. Interesting. Maybe this is a plan. Maybe this is the goal is, you know, to carpet bomb the Marauder on top of some tech there, some technical units there from Patience, and well, make it so they cannot escape. As we do have Widow Mine drops, are going to find their way on into the bases here of Patience. That will make it so his army, well, it's not going to be reinforced as easily as it would like to be. So now we're going to have the Stim come on in here. Stim number 1, of course, we don't have to count that nearly as importantly as we sometimes do because, well, there are medevacs. However, most of these SCVs are going to take a lot of damage as the Widow Mines do friendly fire here. But of course, medevacs, they're going to be a powerful thing indeed. Now the Immortal is going to get targeted down here. Will it go down? It will. He will not get back to the safe confines of a shield battery. The third base is going to go on down. Now we do have Charge done. And Charge is maybe going to be the saving grace here for Patience, since he does have 8 gates, he does have Charge. And if he's able to build up a strong enough army, maybe he can do something, because some of these SCVs are just on a little bit of a jaunt here on top of the natural. But hey, you know what? They're getting their moment in the sun here. We're looking at them and not the main army. So very clearly, they've achieved their goal in this game. As now Special is going to stem on in. Not that many SCVs left, but his army is damn strong. And once again, the probes are going to get pulled. They're going to be pulled to their doom, though, as it's a bunch of Terran army stemming on up the ramp as well. It's just a bunch of Blink Stalkers. No charge lots were made in the course of this game. No charge lots were harmed in the making of this game. But really, that's more because there were no charge lots made. As now the rest of the Stalkers are going to get targeted down. No, some charge lots are going to get targeted, or built on up here, warped on in. But at this point, it is 32 Army Supply to 59. 27 probes have died. Patience doesn't have any mining, and neither does Special, but he has the power of mules. GG Special. He's going to put himself on match point. Spawning here in the upper right in the blue, representing Good Game Gaming. His life on the line. Give it up for Patience. And his opponent on the bottom left-hand side of the map in the red for Team Exxon. He is Special. Providence, I was on Exxon. I am now, as of last Saturday, it's been 2 weeks. As of 2 Saturdays ago, officially I made the transition to Alpha X. It's special, going for a second barracks there. But realizing that there is a probe in his main base says, okay, I don't want to do that yet. I don't want you to see what I'm doing, so he will cancel. And yes, Lion's Teeth, my main race, I play Zerg. At kind of a Masters 3, almost, if I'm actually playing enough to really keep my muscle memory up, at about 45 odd 100 MMR. So edge of Masters 2, I got pretty close to Masters 2 a couple times, and then I spent so much time casting that I had less time playing. But look at this build we got coming on up here from Special. This is the Beyond build. Actually, not even. This is a build that Alive used to do back at the start of Legacy of the Void. And yes, it's become less popular, but that does not make it anywhere less powerful. It's 4... Okay, it's 5 barracks. It's 5 barracks. Sure, fine. This is either going to win or it's not. I don't have a lot of in-depth analysis here. If Patience is able to scout it and he's able to get the the defense up in time, he's gonna be able to hold. If he does not scout it, he's not gonna be able to hold. Riveting commentary. I'm sure, but I mean, it's a 5 barracks all in off of 1 base. Like, what the hell, Special? What are you doing here? So we will need to see some extra gateways on the way here for Patience. Patience, honestly, I think he maybe even needs to cancel this natural. As, well, he's going to need those additional 450 minerals to get additional gateways, I think. But he will go Sentry here. Now, Sentry will allow him to stay alive for longer. You force field the ramp. You're pretty happy with that. But yeah, 5 Marines at a time. Already getting started here. The SCVs are getting pulled. This is Special now or never. He says, you know what? Now is my time. I got a map to give. I got 2 maps to give. Let's pull up some funky shenanigans here. Actually, you know what? I think someone in chat asked him, right when I was giving his chat the link to the Matcherino page. I think someone in his chat asked him whether he would do a 5 racks SCV pull if he got up to 4-1. And while this is 4-2, I mean, I guess that's still close enough here. So we have more and more Marines on the way, of course. The rally's going across. The SCVs are going to go on. They're going to look for that citizen's arrest. Will they be successful? Who really knows? As, oh, they will get it. No, they will. They will get on top of every single unit here, but we do have a shield battery overcharge for the time being. SCV's not really doing a whole hell of a lot, but that does give the Marines room to target down this shield battery. Now shield battery overcharge is done. 8, 9, 10 SCVs are going down, and fans of Special, I got bad news for you. I don't think this is really going to work. It's a funky idea, to be sure. But I'm not all that convinced, as Stalkers just kind of have infinite micro-ability against slow Marines, against Marines without stim. But he will be able to, well, he will be able to depower the gateway Special. Depower the gateways. But oh, he's going to kill down the Stalkers in time. The gateways are going to be depowered as well. And what am I saying? Is this going to work? No, with the probe pull. I think this should be enough. I think the probe, yeah, the probe pull and the Stalkers here. Yeah, Special is not going to be able to continue the all-in. This is a 2-base Protoss against a 0-base Terran, and GG. Patience, he's going to take that map. Spawning in the bottom left. In the blue, he is down 1 game in the series, trying to take us all the way to map number 9. For Good Game Gaming, Patience. And his opponent. On the upper right-hand side of the map, in the red for Team Axon. He's got 1 map to give, but he's hoping to clean it out right here. He is Special. But yeah, this Donuts.live service, the Power Spike service, well, I guess the Namecheap service, which is part of Donuts.live, is actually really cool. Again, I can get I got my domain for like $2, which, you know, honestly, that's pocket change. And it's really nice. It allows me to customize things more. It's really SEO dense, right? You have your name, you have live, and then it links to your Twitch page or your stream. So you got those 3 different SEO terms that are rather helpful. On top of that, it's really their customer support is really fantastic. So if you have any issues, I didn't even have some issues. I just messaged them to say, hey, I like your service, and thanks for sponsoring these tournaments. I do, or we do, I guess. Alpha X does, and they were really responsive. They're fantastic. And on top of that, they have some really, really nice anti-hacking, security, not anti-hacking, but security provisions there to make sure that things that, well, your domain is safe. It does not redirect somewhere you don't want to go. So really cannot recommend them enough. And honestly, the process of getting everything set up, so the .live account pointed actually to my Twitch account was really easy. It just took, 30 minutes for the DNS to propagate. And that was that. But anyway, we do have a special here. He is going for an aggressive build once again, to the surprise of literally no one. As it will be a 1-1 at the very least. He may opt to get a command center after this. That's what he did in game 5, game 6, something like that. Is a Patience. I thought that was for a proxy pylon. But no, it's not. So this Reaper will find its way on into the main base, or at the very least the natural. Say, okay, well, there's a stalker here. And one of the upsides here of Beckett, even as it is a small map and arguably a pretty Terran favored map just because of the choked positions, because of how small it is, this is not a Reaper cliff, I don't believe. If you look at this here, it looks like it might be, but it really isn't. So that B is a... Well, actually, no, I guess it is. No, I'm thinking of a different map that has a Reaper cliff that you think might would think might exist, but actually doesn't. Anyone can join the participants because it's it's open to join. I would assume, but I mean, it's just at the end of the day, I don't care if you join the Match Arena page or not, unless you're one of special or patience, you're not getting paid out through that Match Arena page. So now we will have the Hellions and the Reaper try to find some damage done. I think they got what, 1 probe? Yeah, 1 probe for 1 Reaper, whatever. Is this a dark? Yeah, we got a proxy Dark Shrine coming on in here from Patience as another gateway, so it's gonna be 3-gate DT, and that's exciting. That's pretty cool. This is a really weird proxy location, by the way. It's right in the line of sight blocker, and it's not really a position that anyone's ever gonna look. Now, I think the ideal spot is like right here behind the rocks. I mean, no one is really gonna go there unless they're really looking for it. But I guess here, with the it kind of being in the middle of the map, it's even less likely to be scouted because, well, who in the world puts their proxy buildings in the middle of the map if they're trying to hide some tech? I mean, maybe it's one thing if you're trying to, take a Stargate and move it across the map and do something like that. But just make sure your rally is closer. But I mean, where these structures are has no bearing on where the units actually get built. So now we do have hidden Widowmine tech going to come on in. And it almost feels like these hidden Widow Mines are going to get something done, and then they never do because the Robo's done in time, observers are done in time. But I think this may be one of those rare times where that is actually not going to be the case, as the Robo's not even done. As this, oh God, Patience, be careful! Oh, he's, okay, he's only going to lose 2 total workers of that. Whew, that was scary, pulling the probes on that. Oh, and he doesn't have it timed out quite well enough. Okay, now the Stalker will go down, but that's going to be a trade that he's willing to make, because now DTs are going to find their way on into the main base. Do we have a scan of the main base? We do not. Do we have a scan of the natural? No, we do not, although it's getting close. 6 energy from one, 2 energy from the other, but of course the SCVs are, or excuse me, the DTs are split. 8 SCVs have already gone down. This barracks is going to be delayed. Actually, nice RNG there, for what it's worth, but this is tremendous damage. Actually, we're going to see this one SCV get recalled, or this one DT get recalled. And honestly, I don't know how much of a fan I am of that. I mean, yes, you keep the DTs alive. That's true. But I feel like, okay, never mind. It's because the Raven's almost out. That makes sense. I was going to say, like, I feel like you just want to, you'll take that sacrifice. You'll take that trade. You say, okay, I'm going to lose 2 DTs, but I'm going to force the Terran to spend 500 minerals on it. Each scan is worth, I guess, 450 minerals. Each scan is worth about 225 minerals at standard usage. Okay, Sushi's got the better answer. Laziness over anything else. So now we will have the drop coming on in here once again. Does Patience have the pull? Does he? Oh, does it? Oh, God, Patience. How in the world? Like, this has been happening a lot. I'm like, oh, man, it's clumped up. It's going to be so bad. And then it's actually totally fine. There we go. We'll go on down. We have a bunch of DTs, so we're going to see Archon drops coming on up here from Patience, and, well, this is a little bit ballsy. You got to be a little bit careful here, of course, because, A, the Reaper's going to find it. The Reaper is going to kill all the Archons. No, it's not. But you do have a Raven here for Patience, or for Special, I should say, and he's going to look to try to disable this Warp Prism as the Archons are out of it, which will guarantee that the Archons do die. That means you have to have a really quick trigger finger on these things, and now the Archons will go on out here, and there we go, Patience. He's on top of things. He's able to hit that timing where the disrupt or the disable is out, but the Archons are already getting their way back in. So he's going to be totally happy with that. 3rd base now on the way. Patience, remember, he had a 7-worker lead. Now he doesn't. And that actually is a Reaper Cliff. I guess I really was thinking of a different map. So now we do have a little bit of Stalker aggression here from Patience, as his +1 is not done. It's not anywhere close to being done. It's only been started, but his blink is just about done. And it does look like he is rather interested, as this Archon drop actually getting a fairly decent amount of damage done here. 4 SCVs will go on down, coupled with the 8 SCVs that were killed earlier. And we're starting to hit reasonable damage here. Patience, he's up 7 SCVs, or he's up 7 workers, I should say. Protoss doesn't have SCVs, and he will be able to get on into his Colossus tech rather quickly. So that's going to be nice for him, and you know what, it's interesting. So when we last saw Patience in the GSL, he was playing this old school hot style where he went up to like 6 Colossus and, you know, didn't take a lot of bases all that fast, but kept his robo units alive and just turtled into the late game and went from there. This time, right, Patience is really in this series has been playing a lot of the gateway style. You get a lot of charge lots. You get a decent amount of, you get Archons, you get maybe Storm, and you just try to do it with upgrades and lots of charge lots, like what Zest has been doing. So it's really interesting to see how Patience's style has changed over the last, what, couple months. But again, for the first time, that's not what's going to happen here. We will have Tier 2 tech, Tier 3 tech for Patience. We do have Colossus on the way, Extended Thermal Lance on the way, Charge on the way as well. As the whole goal, of course, for these Stalkers is to, well, plank away at the army here. But no, Special's going to blink on top of this, or stem on top of this. And the Stalkers will be forced to blink away, but you got to remember, this is a really short rush distance. Look how long it took for a Special to get from his base to Patience's base. The answer, not long at all. That's really weird, Lion's Teeth. I have never seen that. Have you tried opening up an incognito browser and going that way? These charge lots will get chased on down, but look, I mean, Special just owns the upper left-hand side of the map, just with his army positioning, which is really cool. And he does have, again, he does have a big army. But this is, of course, one of those situations where Patience arguably has a more cost-effective army, certainly a higher tech army, but SCV says, Special says, to hell with it, let's pull some SCVs, and oh no, one Colossus is going to be mismicroed, going down instantly, and now, well, it's only one Colossus, a hope and a prayer here for Patience. Those are going to be some nice force fields indeed, but even then, with the Vikings in the sky, we're starting to see this Colossus go down, and yes, there's a shield battery, yes, there'll be a shield battery overcharge, but there are, in fact, 4 tanks here on the line, and they're just going to keep moving on forward, and this is a terrifying choke for Patience to try to attack on into. Tanks are going to siege it up, which is going to choke it up even more. Third base starting to take some damage, and I worry that Special, he has found that chokehold. He has found that choke that he's looking for to really find his way on in. Now the Stalker's going to blink onto the left-hand side. Colossus is trying to fire, but it's only one Colossus. The second one is disabled, but the charge lots look like they maybe, just maybe have enough. No, they will not, as one Colossus goes down. Second Colossus will go down. Probe's getting pulled, but Special, he just barely has enough here, and he will be able to poke on through. GG Special. He's going to take it with a score of 5-2-3.